Please help me welcome Christa Rialda.
Hey everyone! Hello to all of the husbands and the boyfriends. Thank you guys all so much for being here. I'm sure there is like a basketball game or a baseball game that you could be watching. So we really appreciate you being here. And I think it's Stacy said it so perfectly that our accomplishments are because of the support that you guys give us, right? So everything from being home with the kids to just sending your love and support, we couldn't do it without you. So we really, really appreciate you being here. This is a very special event where I get to acknowledge my partner. And I can't guarantee that I won't cry like 5 times, but I'll do my best to hold it together. But I think it's such a topic near and dear to my heart because when I met Mike, he met me as an entrepreneur, and through the years, I've really been really ambitious and always had new goals, and he has been a part of the journey. And this is our family currently, and we have these 2 gorgeous. It's a current picture. This is how old they are. Oh, yeah. Okay, no more babies. Okay, but anyways, you guys probably see these pictures on Facebook. We're a very, very lucky, blessed family. Love our family life so much. And it's just because of my entrepreneurial spirit that I really got from my father, who's in the audience, which has really inspired me to go after my dreams all these years. So we're going to talk actually a little bit about a conversation that we had just yesterday. Was it yesterday? Time's been flying. At breakfast, and Mike, he shared a really beautiful insight about because Andre was asking, like, what did you think, like, when Christa started her USANA venture 8 years ago? And he said that he believed in me, right? So he wasn't sure about the whole USANA thing, but he believed in me first, right? So he could get behind that. He can get behind my excitement and my drive and what I wanted to do. So I think this was a really important point, and I think all of the men in the audience who are here, you're here because your wife or your girlfriend invited you, right? And you believe in her, right? And the same way that she believes in you. And I think this is such an important part of the process, because when Mike knew that when I decided that I was going to build this, that I wasn't gonna stop, right? It was gonna happen. So he got behind my vision, and I think this is a really powerful message for all of us. So it's been quite a journey over the last 8 years for sure, building our business, the highs and the lows, the successes, and also the challenging times. And I thought it'd be a great opportunity to do a little bit of a timeline, which I'm going to get to talk about the triumphs and the lessons that we learned. But the first thing I want to talk about is a little bit about masculine and feminine energy, since it's a perfect opportunity to do so. Molly's laughing. We talked about this recently at a retreat with Kathy Kaler. This has been one of my biggest areas that I've been studying and focusing on over this past year as I've been developing my leadership skills. And every single one of us, whether we are male or female, if we have more of a balance of these 2 energy systems, we are going to be stronger partners and also more successful in our business ventures. So if you guys ask yourself right now, and it can be silently, which one do you think you're stronger in? Okay, so if you could be a male who has more feminine energy, which means you are more heart-based, you're more sensitive, you want to talk about things, or you could be a beautiful woman who has more masculine energy. And I know a few of you who are nodding in the audience right now, and you're like, yeah, that's me. And you guys would actually, you may or may not be surprised, a lot of you know me as like a girly girl, but I do have masculine energy when it comes to the business sometimes, and so everyone's like, oh yeah, and sometimes it's my ambition that actually isn't so awesome in a relationship, right? Bringing that drive and that we can get it done into the actual, the romantic, the partnership at home, right? Do you guys see how that's relevant? So the balance of these energies and the awareness of them is really, it's a powerful thing to focus on. And one of my little beautiful saying, it's not my saying, but hustle and heart will set you apart, right? When you have both. The hustle, the ability to get things done, but you're also connected to your intuition, to your heart, and you bring the hustle to the business when necessary, also the heart underlying, and in the relationship, you're able to come back to the heart. Does that make sense, you guys? Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Okay, so a little bit of a timeline. I actually have to come over here, Mike. I'm sorry if this screws up with the technology for a second. Then a little bit of a timeline for our life and our relationship over the last 8 years. I'm using May just as because we're in May right now. So I've had a partnership with USANA for 8 years. And in these 8 years, it has been the most intensive personal development journey. And with the USANA business, I think almost every one of you here has a USANA business. Am I right? Is there anyone who's not a USANA associate in the audience? Okay, we're here too. Okay. Okay, most of you. Okay, so it's okay. So the USANA journey, any entrepreneurial journey, it is, if you want to become successful, the amount of personal development that you have to do is really non-negotiable. Right? If you want to grow professionally, you have to grow personally. Okay, so this also coincides with growing in a relationship as you're becoming more aware, more self-aware, you're becoming a better person, you're growing and learning, right? So our timeline here, so in May 2008, Mike and I were living in Toronto. Toronto life, city life, we have a couple of Toronto girls here. And we loved it. Toronto was amazing. We were young. I was 20. How old was I? I don't know, however old I was. I was in my 20s. And life was different. We were single, no kids. And our relationship was awesome, right? We were living in Toronto, enjoying the city life. And the lessons were just, getting to know each other and the relationship and just, the day-to-day kind of stuff, right? But then what happened was I decided to start a USANA business, and I really went for it. So ambition, I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be the fastest growing USANA associate in the area, which I became in Toronto. And I became a goal director. So I had tunnel vision at this time. And I was like, I'm going to become a goal director. Go, 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 go. And a few of you are in that right now. But what that actually meant was my ambition got the best of me. So what happened was, hopefully Mike doesn't mind me sharing this, so I reached this monumental goal. So I was the fastest growing USANA associate in Ontario at that time, and got my trophy or whatever, and I was like, Mike's not so happy about this right now because I've ignored him for the past however long, right? So ambition got the best of me in that area, right? So if I would have actually partnered with Mike to get my goal done, it would have felt more beautiful together, right? So that was actually the beginning of the journey there, and it's a great lesson to learn. So in May 2010, our life changed quite a lot. We decided to come back to Amherstburg, where Mom and Dad welcomed us with open arms, and we decided to just have a little break from the city. And when we got to Amherstburg, we found out how many weeks later?
3.
3 weeks later, that we were expecting. Surprise! And that wasn't part of the plan. We thought we were just coming for a little break from the city. That's life. And I think a really beautiful message about USANA is that USANA is with you through the journey of life. So we get this news, and then I go into the mode of, you can't actually have a baby if you don't own a house. I thought that was like a law or something. That was like a belief that I had in my head. So here we are, coming a young couple from Toronto. We've been living in Toronto all, since we were teenagers, so we didn't have any savings or anything like that. So here I'm like, okay, gonna go, and I'm working my butt off, and Mike's supporting me, and we're doing these trainings, and we're working together, and we earned enough income through USANA to buy our first home, right? Which was pretty exciting. But here's the thing. So we went into this super duper work mode, and then Curtis was born, and then entered the hardest year of my life, because what happened after Curtis was born? Sorry guys. I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but I know a few of you had, but I fell into the hardest part of my life. Which was the darkest part of my life, and see, I was planning on crying. So these years here were really hard because I fell into postpartum depression. Thank you. So that ambition that I had, that drive, that masculine energy to get things done, I now couldn't even get out of bed. Okay, I couldn't pick myself up. I couldn't do anything. I was stuck. I was literally, sometimes I couldn't even get off of the floor. So I fell into this dark hole of depression, and my husband, who always knew me to be the one to get things done, and he kind of just was always there to support me and say, okay, where are we going now, Christa? Where are we going now? He had to pick me up and tell me it was time to move forward. And it took about 2 years to get out of that slump. But we learned a lot in that time. And we learned each other's strengths, and we learned how to really to keep each other going. And even though that was the hardest point in my life, that was also the area where I grew the most, because it was like peeling back an onion, right? Peeling back, and it wasn't a quick fix, right? And it took a lot of time to get there. But it was the most beautiful journey in the end. And again, Usana was with us, and most importantly, my partner was with me. This partnership became stronger. And also the partnership within our team became stronger. And the partnership with my parents, our family unit, became stronger because we had to come together to get through this time. Okay, so next we're getting married. This is a better time. So we're getting ready for our wedding. Again, the beautiful dynamics of feminine masculine energy. Again, getting a wedding ready. You know, we have to be connected to the heart, but we also have to hustle to get it done. Moving into to 2013, life is really good. The business is growing. There was a lot of healing that happened. Mike and I, our relationship was strong. Our business was growing. And then after all of that personal development that happened over those years, we had beautiful baby Marcus. Okay, so with the birth of Marcus actually came the birth of huge business growth. So here where I became a gold director in USANA, over these next couple years I grew, and we went right past, we became ruby, emerald, and then diamond, just right after each other. And now we're executive diamond directors who just bought a new home. And I'm proud to say that the partnership with Mike and I, the partnership with our team, partnership with our family is so incredibly strong, and we feel so supported, more supported than ever before within our USANA family and our marriage, and it's so awesome. So I'm so happy to be here and to be sharing this with you. And these are the components that I really thought of that are most important in a relationship. Okay, so number one is self-love. And before we gloss over this topic, it's non-negotiable, because in order for us to bring our best selves to our partnership, we have to love ourselves. Okay, so what does that mean? That is truly asking yourself on a daily basis, what do I need, right? Men, I'm talking to you too. What do I need? What's important to me? To the women, what's important to me? What do I need today? What are my dreams? What are my aspirations? What do I need? Taking care of ourselves so we're strong, whole people going into the relationship, okay? Now that's very important. The next is honoring each other's strengths. This is so incredibly important because, okay, again, as Stacy mentioned, so I may be the one getting the trophy for gold, emerald, ruby, whatever, but the strengths here is Mike's the one at home taking care of the boys, and that is way harder. That is way harder than growing the business, I think. That is no joke, right? But for Mike, that's his strength. He's born to be a father, that's for sure. And also, what other strengths does your partner have? Honoring those strengths, right? So even if the strengths, maybe your strengths are more visible, maybe vice versa, maybe one brings the more money in or the other, that doesn't matter. Honoring the strengths and bringing those strengths to life, really encouraging them and honoring them completely. Gratitude. This is so incredibly important, and it's also, it's the little things for sure. Just as an example, Mike plugging in my phone before I go to bed. Okay, my business partners know my phone's always running on empty. So when Mike's plugging in my phone, it's not just like it's not just like half thinking about it. It's because he's taking care of the business. He's taking care of me. He's plugging in my phone. So how does that actually make me feel? Honoring what he's doing and really taking note of that. So really acknowledging the little things that our partners do on a daily basis, and really like feeling them and thanking them for that. Really big. Surprise, keeping the fun and the surprise in your relationship, also your business relationships, like have fun, you spice it up every once in a while. Mike brought me flowers the other day to the arena as I was there helping the karate class. That was amazing, but keeping the surprises going in our relationship. Togetherness, dating your husband, dating your wife, even after all these years, so important. Togetherness as a team. Like last night we had a team party, just being together. It was supposed to go from 7 to 9, you guys, just so you know. Just so you know, that's what the invitation said. Okay, but togetherness is so important, just being together and spending that time. Perspective, this is big. This is really big. Before we react to a situation between business partners or within our relationship, let's just take a step back to say, okay, how is he thinking about things right now? Where is he at? What is she thinking, etc., right? And just taking a step back before we respond, before we're like, how could he? How could she? Da, 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 da. And just say, okay, just putting ourselves in his or her shoes. So easy, but it just takes a moment, and just honoring that, having that empathy, having that patience with each other. And then dreaming together, never stopping to dream together. Have fun with it. Like, what would you do with an extra $1,000 a month? Where would you guys love to go if you didn't have to worry about, the kids or the money or whatever, just to start to just bring those dreams to life? So book a coffee together, a date night, and just to start dreaming together again. Empowered couples, that's what I hope all of you guys can be in this audience. I hope as a team we can become more empowered together to continue to support each other. All the marriages, all the best friends in the audience, to really empower each other in a bigger and a better way. Let's do this.
Thank you, Christa. As always, so powerful. And with the thousands of people whose lives Christa has impacted, she's walked it out. And she is so generous with sharing her experience with all of us so that we can learn from what she has accomplished, and also the rough spots that maybe we can avoid. And that's just one more generous thing about Christa. The reason why a lot of you have driven so far is Mr. Andre Gordon, so I'm not going to keep him from you for very much longer. I think I'm okay. Back that up. Okay, there he is. So, we're so fortunate to be able to welcome Andre Gordon. Thank you so much to Mike and Christa for bringing Andre here. Another generous example. That's something that's been provided for all of us by Christa and Mike, to want us to be able to be inspired by Andre's example and his spirit and his entertaining ways to tell us all stories and to make us passionate about this business. Andre's traveled all the way from Los Angeles. He said it's like even downtown. He was driving through Walkerville and he's like, it's like the country here. Like, I'm waiting to see, like, they're going to be a moose or a cow. Is he going to spot that, like, on Wyandotte going through Walkerville? But apparently it's very rural for LA. If you don't already know who Andre is, this guy might look or sound a little familiar to you, and it's because you probably have seen him or heard him before. In 2015, Andre Gordon and the cast of The Jungle Bunch won an International Emmy Award for Best Kids Animated Show. And Andre and John Lithgow are the leads for that show. He was born in St. Andrew, Jamaica, and grew up in Miami, Florida. He's an alumni of the BFA program at Florida State University. He's an actor working with UTA, Clear Talent Group, and Flick Commercials. Andre is the president and CEO of Four Horsemen Films, and you'll be hearing a lot more about that company in the future, I'm sure. Andre has been successfully producing, acting, writing, and directing for 14 years, which is no small feat in the Hollywood machine. He's worked theatrically in film and television, which includes guest appearances on Mad TV, Campus Ladies, Scrubs, Phineas and Ferb, Zoe 101, along with features in Old School, Like Mike, and SWAT. He's produced films starring Michael Clark Duncan, Vinnie Jones, and Brian Austin Green. Woo! Follow him on Facebook because you can see outtakes from the latest film, and you get to see a lot of Brian Austin Green. We get to see a lot of Audrey too. That's impressive. But so he's created TV series starring the legendary Jerry Rice and has directed greats such as Morgan Freeman, Ed Begley Jr., and Katherine Judson. Part-time, he's become an executive Emerald Director. That's a new accomplishment for Andre and his wife Nanette with USANA Health Sciences. He's a premier platinum pay setter where all the magic starts. And in layman's terms, that means that he's helped thousands and thousands of people over his career. He's truly changing lives. He's the top associate and customer enroller. He held the #2 spot for associate enroller for 4 years running. And his accomplishments are just too numerous to mention. So thank you for coming all this way to Canada, A. We're so excited about you coming here. Please help me welcome
Well, first, I'm just gonna have you follow me around and make me feel good about myself. That was awesome. And it's true, I was driving around with them and I was like, wow, this is the country. And she's like, this is downtown. And I thought maybe I would see like a deer or an elk running by. And I didn't see any, but it was still pretty cool. Well, first of all, my name's Andre. My friends call me Dre. So you guys give me a hey, Dre. Hey, Dre. And here's what I love. Here's what I love right now. Right now, the feminine energy in the room is like, yeah, this is awesome, woo! And the dudes are like, man, there's a basketball game on right. That's an elimination game. I'm sitting there. So I want all the women to give a round of applause to their men for coming out tonight.
We're not a couple.
And I want all the men for the rest of the night to smile. All right, I see some teeth. All right, that's good. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about me, so we're not complete strangers. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. The reason why I'm here is to talk about the male and female, feminine, masculine energy, and how that translates to success. There's been a lot of success in my business and my team's business, and it's funny because when I moved to LA, I thought success was just, getting out there, being on TV, it's gonna be great, I'm gonna make a lot of money, I'm gonna take over the world. And that didn't happen. I was pretty broke actually when I got to LA. I lived off of peanut butter on a spoon with my buddy Nick Puga, and that was like our dinner, peanut butter on a spoon. And often we would go to the Mexican restaurants, they'd bring out the free salsa and the chips, and we would eat, and we're just waiting for a couple people. And then, oh, you know what, we gotta go. So we lived off of salsa and peanut butter, and it was cool. And that, to me, like getting some money, I'm like, all right, that'll be success. But now, looking back, and where I am now, where I am then, success now has a few different components for me. So, would you guys agree that if you don't have your health, you don't have anything?
Yes.
You can have all the money in the world and you can't buy back your health, right? So there are people that I know that I've seen, wealthy people, who at the end of their life, they've sacrificed all their time and their energy to get this wealth, and then they lose their health. So they spend all their wealth to try and get back their health, and then this cycle, and I didn't want to be doing that. So I wanted to find something that would allow me to have health, mind, body, spirit, to contribute and add value to society, so that when I leave this earth, my family and my family's family, my kids can say, wow, my dad, he left a mark. Because we can work and make money, and that's great. But what legacy are we leaving behind? I'm going to talk about that as well. The time, my wife, she was working, teaching at a school that she went to when she was a kid, and she woke up at 3:45 every morning and drove an hour and a half, 2 hours to her school, and she would get back around 6:30, and I would have the kids with me at the studio, and then I would go to my office at night. So there was no quality time. So there you know that the relationship wasn't at its optimal. So I wanted time, and of course, life ain't free, right? So we need money. So when I started out in LA, I got a job at Universal Studios Hollywood. Has anyone ever been to Universal Studios Hollywood? Has anyone seen the movie The Nutty Professor? Yeah. Okay, so basically my job starting out in LA was Eddie Murphy sound-alike, his look-alike. I was an imposter. So they paid me $20 an hour to be an imposter of Eddie Murphy. So I'd walk around and just Hercules. And I was excited because, mind you guys, I told you I had $0, right? I was eating salsa. I was eating peanut butter. I was drinking hot water in a bowl pretending it was soup, and suddenly I have a job. And they're paying me $20 every single hour. And I'm 22, I make it $20. When you have $0, and then you get $20 every hour, I was like, I won the lotto, guys. Here, who wants money? Just passing it out. But let's fast forward. This is day one, and this is year number 8. I was gonna do just summer thing, get on my feet, 8 years later, I got trapped. Wow. Mentally, I'm like, well, I'm making a great paycheck, I'm getting my benefits, I get free movies, I get massages now. It was great. But here, I'm married, we have our first kid. Our first kid was actually coming the next day, didn't know that. But I decided that I wanted to teach my child that her life was worth more than an hourly wage, and I wanted to be sure that I had the time to connect with my wife, right? Which is fair. So I left my Universal Studios job, and I started working in entertainment immediately. When I say immediately, I'd say a year, and a year in California terms is like a day in real life. It took me a while, but now, she said, I produced shows with Jerry Rice, directed Morgan Freeman, the international campaigns, magazines. Everything here is really good. Adriana Lima commercials. She won't stop bothering me. Been on Modern Family. It's a great life, right? This is a 6-figure income. But now I have less time. So I have less time with my wife. And now I have 3 kids. Well, at that point I had 2 kids. So I wanted to do something else so we could come together, to align together. My health got out of control, because now I had money, so I'm just eating. So here, this is not a cummerbund, that's duct tape. Just keeping the pants together. And underneath that shirt, I had, you guys know what Spanx is? Yeah, I had Spanx down underneath that. My stomach was like, please help me, trying to get out. So the success wasn't what it looked like. I'm on the red carpet. This is actually I'm promoting one of my films at the Academy Awards red carpet event. But there was an imbalance, complete imbalance. My wife is not with me here. See, she's at home with the kids. We should be together at this event. But I wasn't even clear enough, and she wasn't clear that we're just stuck in the race and doing our own thing. So this is why I chose USANA. Now, this is pretty cool, because most of the time, it's a woman-dominated industry, I would say right now. This is the shift is going that way. But my wife was the one who was like, Andre, I am not doing this USANA thing. I will never do it. I am not going to do it. I don't care to do it. I'll support you, but this is a you thing, not a me thing. Not an us thing. You do it, not me. You're gonna be great. So you're saying there's a chance? So she didn't want to do it. Yeah, do whatever you want. You're gonna be great. Do whatever you want. So what I set out to do was figure out and make a case for USANA against RoboCop, my wife. I had to prove to her why this is a worthwhile investment of time. Because yes, I can do it without her. Yes, she'll let me do it. But if you agree and take a vow to spend the rest of your life together, and both of our names, our last name is on this business, right? How much more powerful is it if we're really working together in true harmony, true support? So I wanted to show her why. So this woman, this is Nanette. Yeah, right? And this is pre-mustache, Andre. And she's been very supportive in that light and everything that I've done so far. So for me to set out and do this without her, she was there, but I wanted to figure out how to get her involved, like I said, like really involved. She was there in the peanut butter and the spoon days, so she's definitely not a gold digger. So here's the deal. To the degree that you are not proud of your job, you will not be successful. And to the degree you're successful will determine how proud you are of your career. The career isn't the problem, your commitment is the problem. You guys get that?
Yeah.
Yes.
To the degree you are not proud of your job, you will not be successful. And to the degree you are successful will determine how proud you are of your career or your job. The career isn't the problem, your commitment is the problem, from Grant Cardone. Now, how proud can I be without my partner's full buy-in? Because in the back of your mind, you're like, well, I'm doing this, but she's not really, or maybe for the women, I'm doing this, but I know that he's just waiting for me to let this phase go. So it's hard to really give it your all, right? So this is what I found in my search. I saw it's a publicly traded company in the New York Stock Exchange. Public company. Pretty cool. When I started, the stock was at $36 a share. Now it's at $128 a share. And that's 4 years ago. You know what? Today's my 4-year anniversary with USANA. So 4 years ago, the stock was $36. Now it's $128. Look what I did! But would you guys say that's growth?
Yeah.
So I could, she could be skeptical, but that's math. Because she loves math, so now she looks back and she's like, okay, that was cool. I like to get my facts from credible sources. So anyone heard of Forbes? Would you guys say Forbes is a pretty credible and successful source in business? They listed USANA as one of the top companies. They listed Dave Windsor, CEO, the co-CEO, one of the most powerful CEOs under 40. Now, people go on the internet to complain. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Like, we're in the age of outrage. Everything outrage. I'm outraged. Everything outrages everybody. And everyone has this platform on the internet to vent about everything's terrible, and I'm outraged. I'm outraged that it's darker in this room. I'm outraged that there are 2 people with a beard and that I have a mustache. I'm outraged there's so many blondes at one point and one time. I'm outraged. Facebook vent. Here I come. So you would think the chances of USANA getting a bad rap on the internet is pretty high, right? But I don't go to the blogs. I go to the fact base. So here's the Better Business Bureau, where anybody in the world can go complain. We've had 2 complaints and both been closed. 2, ever. How long has USANA been around? 24 years?
Yeah.
That's a long time to get 2 complaints. Do you know how many associates there are in USANA? Over 400,000 with 2 complaints? All right, so I sent this to my wife. Hey, sweetheart, 2 complaints, huh? Powerful CEO under 40, Forbes, the stock, it's gonna go up. 0 debt in the company. They own, no debt? When I got to LA, I had a Visa, I had a MasterCard, I had American Express, I had 2 Discover cards. I would Discover. They have no debt. So I'm trying to win her over with the facts, right? You can't argue with the facts. So this is good stuff. Anybody know who Warren Buffett is? Now, I didn't know who Warren Buffett was, but again, so me, I'm trying to talk to my wife. I'm the feminine energy, sweetheart, let's talk about this. She's like, no, show me the money, show me the proof. I'm like, okay. Well, I found this thing out, Warren Buffett. He's got a really great mind as far as investing goes, to say the least. His shares, Berkshire Hathaway trades it over, at the time when I checked, it was over $200,000 a share. He's 80 years old, he's still investing, he's a billionaire. He's like the Michael Jordan of investing, the Harry Potter, the Dumbledore of investing. He turns money into money. And they said, okay, can you give us your inspired model and tell us what would be the 5 best sectors for the long run as far as investments go? I took his model, Coca-Cola. I cannot afford to buy a Coca-Cola franchise. I could buy a can, but who wants to drink Coca-Cola? Not me. I cannot afford to buy a Walmart. I almost can't afford when my wife goes into a Walmart. When she comes back, I'm just getting a little toilet paper. Boom! No! The whole store comes out with her. I'm just kidding if you're watching me. TJ Maxx, Unilever, and USANA. So I'm like, wait a second, I can't buy any one of those 4, but I can get a USANA business? Babe, check it out. Warren Buffett's telling us this guy's rich. He's wealthy. He's telling us, let's check it out, sweetheart. Let's talk about it. Show me more proof. Okay. All right, anybody here live in North America? All right, so if you live in North America, if you make 100K, which I told you my slide I was making 100,000, it was great. But you don't really make 100,000 because they take 40%. Tax is gone, taking it. So you really are making 60K. So anybody want to live in a crime-less neighborhood, owning a home in a crime-less neighborhood, and driving a nice car, put gas in the car, insure the car, eat, maybe use a phone, go out every once in a while, and I don't know, buy clothes? If you do that and you make 100K, you're at a zero balance. And I haven't talked about savings, and I know a lot of people in here have children. Are children free? No. Yeah, someone just cried in the back. No. You gotta have at least 6 months savings, and you gotta have money for the children because you want to give them the option to do what you want, what they want, within reason. So she's starting to see this, and we're starting to talk about this now. She's like, okay, the numbers make sense. Okay, I'm like, all right, I'm speaking her language. So first thing I did, and what I would encourage you guys to do, is figure out the language that your partner speaks. So you may be trying to talk numbers and they talk feeling, expression, words, or vice versa. So I knew she needed numbers and proof, so I figured out I gotta get better, I gotta talk her language. Taxes, more numbers, right? More numbers. And this is just so you guys know what I did to convince her to bring her onto my side, right? I said, sweetheart, the year before doing USANA, we owed $3,000 in taxes. We paid $3,000 in taxes. My first year doing USANA, I got $7,400 back at the end of the year. The next year, I got $5,200. Then last year, $6,100. So I was like, sweetheart, now I can look back and say, see, we owed $3,000, and then at the end of the year, each year we were making thousands of dollars bonus back. Plus I lost 55 pounds, and my skin looks good, and you're home with the kids. Let's go, baby. Get on the train. Right? So the sooner we get in on the same train, the sooner we choo-choo to the billion-dollar promised land. So here's the deal. So this is why I brought this slide up, and I'm going to go into more of the relationship stuff in a second. But I'm going to grab my water real quick, sorry. So she's not someone who's going to go out and sell anything. She's not someone who's going to go out and figure out, I want to enroll 5, 10 people. And what I told her, hey, there's 6 different ways we can make money here. Retail sales, you can get a website. You can just pick a website. You can host the website and send the website to your friends. You don't have to do anything, just make a website. They give it to you for free. You have it. And I know most of the spouses, the partners in here, are probably enrolled because the other person made you do it. So you have a website that you can use. You're leaving money on the table. Weekly commissions. I tell my friends I'm a series regular in a TV show called USANA. I make $3,000 a week with a lifetime contract. Not bad. Incentive trips, I'm going to tell you about that in a second. Leadership bonus, and an elite bonus, the more money you make, the more USANA gives you. And here, when you get to the really elite, they split $1 million between the top earners in the company. $1 million. So what's interesting is, if my wife chose not to really support me, we could be missing out on splitting $1 million. Quarterly. So even though we have money and the money's good, who does not want to split $1 million quarterly? Doesn't matter how much money you make at your job, it'd be better to make $1 million quarterly as a bonus and be home together. Or on an island somewhere. Or at a restaurant somewhere. Or doing what you want together. So do you see the options, guys? There are options here on how we can make money. It was beautiful. She started coming on board, right? Oh, she loved this benefit. She came on board with this part. Well, we won a trip. So USANA, they flew us to Cancun. They paid for the food. They paid for the alcohol. They paid for the room, the flight. They paid for the massages. You can hear I'm big on massages. And we had a foam party. So this was the quality time that we got to go and take together, and I didn't have to pay for it. So for the men who are working full time and your wife wants to go on a trip or your girl wants to go on a trip, they paid for it, not me. I'm like, yes, sweetheart, I'll take you to Cancun. I got this, on me. But no, USANA's doing it. So this is good for the relationship. We had a great time on the beach, just hanging out, spending time with friends. And this year we're going to Costa Rica for free. Who doesn't want to go to Costa Rica for free? It seems like a good idea. I don't know, just me. All right. I'm gonna give you this, and then I'm gonna go into my thing. Now you guys have background, right? You guys feel like you have some background on why I chose this. Gold Director, if you make 1,000, she talked about Gold Director, Ruby, Emerald. For those of you who don't really know what that means, Gold Director is $1,000 commission earned a week for 4 minimum weeks in a row. Are there any Gold Directors here? What? Good job. Right before this is Silver Director. A Silver Director has earned $1,000 commission in 1 week. Any Silver Directors here? All right. Ruby Directors, that's $2,000 a week for 4 weeks. And look, we have a $525 bonus. Look at the bonuses here. Any Rubies in the house? Well, I was just a Ruby. And then my wife and I just moved up to Emerald. That's $3,000 a week.
And that's US.
That's US. US tender. With bonuses, that's weekly, guys. So the last 2 weeks, I've kind of taken some time off. I'm here for one of the weeks, and the other week I was kind of burnt out, going so hard for 4 weeks. But we still made about $1,700 without doing anything from my business. And the one that I enrolled her in, that I made her do, that one's making $600. I made $600 that week, and I didn't do anything. I didn't even know. She's like, "Hey, we made $600." Didn't do anything. So the support has resulted into more income. That if I do nothing, if I'm like, you know what, I'm not doing anything this week, I stop, forget it. I'm gonna get at least $1,200, $1,500. That's not bad. Right? If I told you there's gonna be $1,500 at the end of the street every Wednesday, would you go pick it up?
Yeah.
Or would you say, no, I don't want to do it? I can't walk that far. I can't sell myself to go pick it up. So anyway, the farther we get, now Diamond Director, do we have any Diamond Directors here? We have one over there. That's pretty sweet. $4,000 every week and $5,750 with the bonus. Residual income. When you get to 7-star, the bonus is more than the commission. So there's options. There's no ceiling. So this is her language. We started speaking the numbers, and she was like, "Okay, you know what? I'm in." She's like, "I'm in." And we really started working together, and I had to figure out what her strength was. So for her strength is numbers. I told you all these numbers. So what we did was her job, her contribution, was figuring out how does the compensation plan work? Where would be the best place to put points? How can I help you maximize the orders that you're getting in? Takes her maybe 15, 20 minutes to do like 3 or 4 of the teammates' I guess, projections. But that really helps and saves us a lot of time and money. And she's contributing, because that's not something I'm great at. So how many people here would say they're great at numbers? No one. What's 2 plus 2? Jello. Well, on your team, there probably is somebody. So this is also to go with your teammates too. Maybe one person's good at numbers, another person's good at the one-on-ones. So these are the 4 ifs from Jim Rohn. And this is what we started to apply to our business. Life is worth it if you learn. So we took the time as a couple to say, all right, let's be real. What is it that I can give you in terms of the business that's going to make you feel like you're contributing and make me feel like you're contributing and I'm contributing and we feel successful? Because I'll tell you, I really do believe this. If one partner is not fully on board, the person who's doing the business, I don't think they have a clear mind and a clear conscience, because they're always worried about each setback and each failure will be that final straw where they say, see, I told you this is the thing that you're wasting time. Oh, see, you haven't made any money yet. I don't see any money yet. How much money? Okay, great, you made this much. Well, what's going on? Let's make this move faster. Let's go, let's go, let's go. So it's like, it's already hard enough to deal with everyone else on the outside, right? You're dealing with the rejection day in, day out. And then you're worried about the failure because you're gonna come home and the expectation is you haven't made it yet. But if anybody here is in business, it takes 5 years in most businesses to even turn a profit. So this is not any different. There's ups and downs in every business. So I had to learn what she could give and what I could give. So life is worth it if you try. So I asked her to give a real honest try. I said, so just give me a real honest effort on what you think that you can do in your way that you're comfortable so that we can work together on this. And same for me. And it's amazing, as we started to work together, we started to get even closer. Because if I'm committed, and I know the people here, they're committed, I think the realization was I will get more of his time and his attention, and I'll get more of her attention if we're both coming together in the middle around this, even if it's part-time. Life is worth it if you stay. Jim Rohn says a lot of people, they plant in the spring and they leave in the summer when it gets too hot. And they're not there in the fall for the harvest. And those weeds sometimes are our partner in our own house. And those weeds are that little nitpick voice in the back of the head, just asking how things are going but waiting for you to fail. I'm encouraging you guys to stick it out. Stick it out. Even give yourself a timeline. All right, sweetheart, we're going to do this for 5 years. And if it doesn't work after 5 years, let's reassess. But at the very least, we're getting a great product and tax breaks. But along this line, I wanted to share one thing just for you guys to feel encouraged. Does anybody know who Michael Callejas is? He's 33 years old in the $1 Million Club, a great friend of mine. And I asked him, I said, how did you stay focused? How did you really make it through to be this wealthy, this young, and be this successful? And I did a post about this on Facebook. He said, okay, what's the sports team here that you guys that everyone cheers for? What did you guys say?
Red Wings. Tigers.
Red Wings? Tigers. Okay, the Tigers. We'll say Tigers.
Tigers.
All right. The Tigers, let's say they're in the World Series, right? They're in the World Series, and it's Game 7 of the World Series, and you are ready to watch this game, right? And you TiVoed it. You record it. You don't want to see it. You want to watch it alone, no distractions. And you sit down, you get home, you've avoided your phone all day, you open your Facebook, you sit down and watch it, and you see Tigers win the World Series. You're like, oh yes, but I wanted to watch it. Would you still watch the game if your team's in the World Series and they're going to win? Yeah. Still watch, right? Be excited. All right. So let's say you get down to the 9th inning and they're down by 5 runs with 2 outs. But you know they win the game. Would you get nervous? You'd be kind of nervous, right? But you know they win. You know they win. But you start to buy into it a little bit. You're like, I don't know how this is possible, but I guess they pull it out. What Michael told me is that he read this book my first year in network marketing. And the book said if you stay 10 years and give a consistent effort for 10 years, you'll be wealthy beyond your imagination. So what he said was he knew the outcome. So no matter how far down the line he got, how many no's, how much rejection, how much discord between him and his partner at the time regarding the business, whatever it was, he knew if he stayed 10 years, it would all work out. Because he knew the outcome. So what I'm telling you, as I'm 4 years in of consistent effort and I'm at Emerald, I think I'm on the 10-year pace to being wealthy because I know the outcome. So if you guys together as a couple can say, let's give it 10 years, consistent, concerted, together effort, you'll win the World Series. Does that make sense? You guys hear what I'm saying? Like if you really give it 10 years, for real, not like, all right, let me see what you do for 10 years. But working on it together, because a happy wife is a happy life, and that's the truth. Like, well, we're not married yet. A happy girlfriend is a happy life. And if it just means saying, you know what, sweetheart, I'm going to support you. Let me know how I can help. I think we can do that, right? We can do that. We've done other things that we don't want to do. I don't like taking out the trash. I take out the trash. And I hate taking out the trash. I can't stand it. And I always take out the trash before I'm going to go do something and go somewhere. I say, see you later. Hey, can you get the trash? Oh, yes, I'd love to. Now this is going to make money for you and bring health to your family. It's way better than taking out the trash. But we do the other thing that we don't like. So let's do this. Is that fair? Life is worth it if you care. You gotta care. When I say care, I just showed you guys. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. I mean, be invested in your partner's success. Your partner's success equals your happiness. People feel productive and they feel successful. If they feel successful, they feel happy. I'm just encouraging you guys to give your partner that first step of success, and that's a support. You're with them for a reason, right? Am I just babbling, or do you guys hear me?
No, we hear you.
Because I really feel like, you know what, I wanted to figure out how I could help Nanette see how important this was to me. So it's incumbent upon you guys as well, no matter which partner it is, for you to really express to them why this is important to you. And if you quit and if you give up, then they were right. If you're not giving max effort, then they are right. If you're not taking your business seriously, then they are right. So you've got to treat it like a business to justify why you've made this decision in the first place. If you care a little, you get some results. If you care enough, you will get extraordinary results. That's from Jim Rohn. A little bit of care goes a long way. All right, so here's what started happening. I was pregnant here.
Like this far?
Yes. Yes, how many months?
7.
May see, I was 7 months there. The twins. Here's the interesting thing. As we started to work together, my wife started pointing out to me, hey, you know, there's a great product line associated with that compensation plan that you're obsessed with, because I am a money-driven individual. I want to make money to give my family what they need, right? But she was like, let's get healthy. Let's get super healthy. So I gave birth to the burrito baby. I have clean energy in the house. We have the My Smart Foods line. Now we have these products that we're buying that I'm actually putting to use, and we're giving it to our family, which is a slide on later. My kids are growing up with the idea that nutrition is important. It's like we never have to talk about it. Sean and I doing that blue seal. She's got the the mustache of the chocolate shake. They came to the national celebration. They got to come on stage with Daddy and Mommy and accept the award. This is the Children's Hunger Fund. When I told Allison how many families we were helping by volunteering, she said, oh, that many people? Christa came to LA, Mike came to LA with the children. Nick and Fernanda, the people who sponsored me, were all here together having frozen yogurt. Mike's head is here, but I guess I think the net's there. Sorry. I'm not good with the Photoshop, obviously. Christine has asked to do a video a week. She said, can I do a video every week and tell my friends why they should take USANA? Why doesn't everybody take USANA? I don't understand. So she did this, she laid it all out, and she's doing these videos. Some of you guys may have seen them. And I knew that I made the right decision when she said to me the other night, she said, Daddy, you're always at school. You drop me off. So I don't see other daddies. Why don't other daddies do USANA? So they can see their kid. I said, well, not everyone can do USANA because then there'd be no Uber driver or no taxi, whatever. But she said, I'm gonna pray that more people do USANA so that they can see their kids. She said some kids don't see their daddy in the morning or at night. Like she didn't realize that. She just thought every dad saw their kid all the time because I take them to school and I hang out with them, and I'm still doing my other business, but I get to choose when I can be there. So I felt really excited about her being able to grow up and saying, Daddy was there. You can't buy that. See, you can't put a price on that. And you can't put a price on this. So I'm going to speak to the men here, or to the masculine energy. One of my concerns was I didn't want my friends and my colleagues to see me as the vitamin guy. Right? Like, oh, here comes the vitamin guy. What's he going to sell me now? Interesting thing, when I started doing USANA full time, Christa touched on this, and this is something that I feel like couples can really value and get from this. My personal development went through the roof. I started listening to personal development audios, and let me tell you something. The truth is, before USANA, I was like, I don't need to listen to a self-help book. I am the book. I'm fine. I don't need to go to a convention. That's a pep rally. I don't need that. I'm self-motivated. No, see the language? Self. Didn't even know. It was just in me. I started listening, and my perspective grew. And as my perspective grew, I started attracting more things to me. I didn't even believe in that whole attraction thing. But as I became more open and I became just willing to listen to an audio on my way to the office and the way home every day, that was step one. I started to learn more about myself and what I could bring into my life. And as I did that, my life got better outside of USANA. The cast I was a part of wins an Emmy. I'm doing more films than I ever have. Rob Gronkowski for the Patriots, he was just in my last movie. I'm putting USANA associates in my films. I'm doing TV commercials, right? I'm flipping the coin for the Serena Williams matches. This has happened because of USANA, because of who I am. And if I was spending my energy worrying about my wife, thinking this is a good idea or not, I would not be open to having all of this happen. I'd be using mental space that could be used helping someone else. And this is the other thing that's been happening, is the community that we built together. And now couples are coming. We're really focused about getting couples together because that's something that lasts, because they're going to pass that on to their kids too. And then now we're leaving a legacy of change through people. We're doing these events with the Children's Hunger Fund, running races. We're going to different events. I'm still speaking on stage, red carpets. It's me and Kathy Kaler and Dr. Oz and Dr. Wins. Again, more Children's Hunger Fund. Like, this is a community. We've talked about the community you guys have here. It's in the US too. Like, it's everywhere. Now, all these communities of positive people interacting, can then bleed into the home. Do you know what I'm saying? Then you have a happy home. And once we decided to really work together, that's when we really started being successful. Because I was carrying the load. I did gold. Basically, I thought I could do it on my own. Ruby, I had a little more own. But Emerald, she was so a part of this. And that made the jump from Ruby to Emerald. It felt so seamless and so easy when I look back on it because I had her support. So her support equaled $3,000 a week. So I wonder what the support of your partner could equal. And is it worth it to not give the support for what you could get in return? That's the question. Are you willing to lose out on the success of your partner and the potential income or change that could happen to not give your support? How did we figure this out? And again, numbers. She told me this. I was like, all right, this makes a lot of sense. Andre, teach 4 people how to make $600 a week, and you'll make $3,000 a week. I said, wait, what? Yeah, just find 4 people and teach them how to make $600 a week, and you'll make $3,000 a week. Yeah, you're telling him right now, right? He's like, what? Just 4? 4 people. Or I could get 800 people ordering the health pack on auto order, and I'll make $3,000 a week. Again, her numbers came into play. I would never have figured that out. Yes, I can go back. Go take a picture.
Sorry, I was listening.
You want this one? There you go. Boom.
Yeah.
Find 4, teach her how to make 600. All right? Or if you want to make 600, you find 4, teach them how to make 50, or 8, and teach them how to make 25. And that happens. It's pretty sick. So teaching 8 people to make $25 doesn't take a lot of time, right? $25? That's good. We can all do that. And imagine if you guys work together, teaching 2 people, teaching 1 person to make $25. Come on. That's totally doable, right? It becomes fun. See the light went green out there for Emerald. It's telling you. Go Emerald, everybody. Okay. So everyone, all right. I think it is an amazing thing to have a job that pays well. And a lot of the argument that I get back from people is like, hey, I have a great job. I don't need the money. I have a great corporate job. And that's great. And I think it's amazing to have a great job. But you cannot leave that great corporate job to your son and daughter. This you can will to your children. You can leave that behind to your children. When 2008 hit, no one really expected it, but everyone lost their job. You don't know when another 2008 is coming. So it's great to have that steady corporate job, but it's like to have this also happening too. So people are like, well, the pyramid thing. But I look at more of it as a family tree. So the decisions that my dad and mom made have affected all of us in our tree forever, and it's still going. I need to add my son here. So I look at this and I think, wow, if 2 people, my mom and dad, came together, the masculine and the feminine energy came together in a little island in Jamaica, and they decided they were going to work together to go to a country where they knew no one, they had nothing, with a baby. I can't even go to the store with a baby. And they went to another country with a baby. And because they decided to work together, this has happened. Legacies happen. And now because of this happening, I can leave that money, that will, that business to my kids. In fact, I'm transferring, once they turn, I think it's 18, the account that I told you guys is making $600. I didn't even look at it. That's going to be hers. And the other one that we have is going to be Allison's. That's great. That's college fund. That's going right into a savings account. Again, you can't do that with a corporate job. So I'm not saying leave your job, but I'm saying have options. Beware of the thief on the street that is after your purse, but beware of the thief in your mind that is after your promise. It's another thing I heard from Jim Rohn, that a thief is doubt. That's the thief telling you that you're too tall, or you're too old, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too dark, you're too light, you're never gonna do this, you have too many kids, there's no way this is gonna happen. I'm asking you guys, with your partner, don't be the thief. Let the thief come from the outside. The job of the partner is to stand in the way of the thief and say, you're not getting in this house. So don't be the thief inside the house. Protect your partner from the thief, don't be the thief. Work together to make that happen. And when I say that, I mean, if you don't have a partner here, even with your teammates are your team. Protect that. That's when the real success is going to happen, the real joy is going to happen. So that's all I have for you guys today, but I wanted to just tell you that I really do value and appreciate the time that you guys have spent here with me, because time is important, right? If you guys can find a way to discover the masculine and the feminine energy that you guys each have, and maybe you don't know, I would encourage you to ask your partner, what do you think I have more of? Because you may be like, well, I'm feminine. And he's like, no, you're not. You got the masculine energy. And vice versa. And then get to work. Do a plan. Develop a plan. Christa and I have really been studying the masculine feminine energy, and we're going to start working a program, a series, on how to really cultivate that, because that's been what's really attributed a lot of our success in the recent time in our business. We're going to talk about that in a second. We're going to do a Q&A. But I just wanted to thank you guys again for listening. And again, guys, thank you for not walking out to go check the score of the game and being here with me for this little bit of time. I appreciate your time.